The 36-year-old Ferrer could not overcome a calf problem. David Ferrer left, and Rafael Nadal, Zimbio.com. Top seed Rafael Nadal reached the second round of the US Open in disappointing fashion on Monday night when his fellow Spaniard and good friend David Ferrer was forced to retire midway through the second set with a calf injury. Nadal led 6-3, 3-4 when Ferrer decided he could not play on, rising from his chair at the changeover and embracing the world no. 1 before closing his Grand Slam career. The retirement was Ferrer's only in 208 Grand Slam matches. As Nadal, the three-time US Open champion seeking to win for his second straight year, marched on, Ferrer moved one step closer to closing his storied career. The two-time semi-finalist in New York has struggled since winning a crucial Davis Cup rubber in April, winning just 2 matches since. The 36-year-old will likely officially retire after a Spanish tournament next year. He had his first noticeable issues with his calf after the first set on a sweltering night in New York, when he saw the trainer. Ferrer was then clearly hampered in the opening games of the set and the trainer returned, but Ferrer later broke Nadal with a well-placed forehand pass on the run. He maintained that advantage, unlike after the opening game of the set, where he handed back a break, until he could play no longer, closing his streak of 16 consecutive Grand Slams in New York. "I feel bad. I tried to play," Ferrer said on court. "I have really good memories here at the US Open. This is the last Grand Slam of my career. I'm sorry, because I can't finish the match." Nadal had played a strong if not overwhelming first set, securing an early break and holding it throughout the set as he faced no break points. He then won the set with a second break, closing a frame in which both players were drenched from the high temperature and overpowering humidity. Each player hit 16 winners in the truncated match. Nadal earned 6 breakpoints to just 3 for Ferrer en route to a second-round match with Vasek Pospisil. But disappointment and sadness overshadowed the play on court, as Nadal watched his friend leave in distress. The 23-time Grand Slam champion won the last 7 games and faced no break points. Serena Williams, Zimbio.com. Serena Williams eased into her US Open as she once again aims to win her 24th Grand Slam title, defeating Magdalena 6-4, 6-0 on Monday night in a match that she comfortably controlled. Williams, 36, converted her first breakpoint midway through the first set, then won the final 7 games to put an exclamation point on her victory. American had 22 winners to just 9 for her Polish opponent, who did not look overwhelmed on Arthur Ashe Stadium but simply did not have enough firepower to compete. With top seed Simona Halep shockingly out of the tournament on the first day, Williams becomes the oddsmakers' favorite to win her first major title since returning to the tour after childbirth nearly 1 year ago. The number 17 seed looked the part, winning 74% of points on her serve and facing no break points. The first set was tight. "It was my first match back here in New York. That wasn't the easiest," Williams said on court. "Once I got settled I started doing what I'm trying to do in practice. I started feeling a little bit better." She made just one first serve in her opening game but survived it, the greatest challenge she faced all evening. The 6-time US Open champion then worked her way into Linette's service games, dominating second serve rallies until clawing out break points at 3-3. She converted her first when Linette knocked a backhand wide, and later closed out the set with a strong second serve on her first set point. That only set the stage for the far more dominant second set. She rolled to a love break in the opening game, punctuated by powerful returns at 0-40 that ended with an errant, off-balance Linette forehand. She slammed an ace to consolidate the break after being pushed to deuce, then ran off 2 more breaks to dispatch the pole in just an hour and 11 minutes. She finished the contest in style, unleashing a superb drop shot to reach match point and slamming an ace, her 6th, to no double faults, to secure the win. It moved her record in Grand Slam first rounds to a remarkable 68-1, including a perfect 18-0 mark at the US Open. She faces a similarly straightforward test against Karina Withoeft in the second round on Wednesday, a possible presage to yet another clash with sister Venus Williams in the third round. After uneven performances on the American hard courts entering New York, she won just one match across two tournaments. The Wimbledon runner-up said she was inching closer to her top form. "I think I'm getting there. I've been feeling really good in practice," she told the crowd. "Most of all, I'm here, playing in front of you guys." The two-time Grand Slam champion reacts to the world number one crashing out of the tournament. Spain's Garbiñe Muguruza has said she sympathizes with world number one Simona Halep after she crashed out in the first round of the US Open. Halep became the first top seed in the Open era to lose in the first round of the women's tournament after being brushed aside by Kaia Kanepi in straight sets. The loss followed a positive summer campaign on the North American hard courts. Halep won the Rogers Cup followed by reaching the final of the Cincinnati Open. Reflecting on her early exit, the 26-year-old admitted that she finds it difficult to find her game in New York. "Maybe the noise in the crowd, the city is busy, everything together," Halep said during her press conference. "I'm a quiet person, maybe I like smaller places. I'd really feel 100% on my game when I step on the court here." The woes of the Romanian are ones all too familiar for Muguruza. Her first four appearances at Flushing Meadows saw the Spaniard win only 2 matches. It wasn't until last year that she had a breakthrough with a run to the fourth round. In total she has only ever won 6 matches at the US Open, including her 6-3, 6-0 win over China's Zhang Shuai on Monday. To put this into perspective, at her second worst performing Grand Slam, the Australian Open, she has won 14 matches. "I really feel for her way when she says that, because me, at the beginning, for the first 4 years, I didn't almost get past the first round," Muguruza said in response to Halep's comments. "I was always there and I didn't really understand what was happening. The US Open, is a little different than other tournaments, but I'm learning to handle that better because I really want to go far in the tournament. I feel like people love it or people don't like it. It's black or white a little bit." So how did Muguruza manage to overcome her US Open nightmares? For her, it didn't involve changing her fitness program or adjusting her mental approach to the game. Instead, she chose to take the route of an introvert whilst in New York. "I try not to spend a lot of time outside. There are a lot of people, there is a lot of noise. I always try to be in calm places. I'm happy to go to the park but I don't do a lot of shopping," she explained. "I do spend a lot of time in the hotel, at this tournament in particular. But that's my way." Muguruza is seeded 12th in this year's draw. Leading up the tournament, her offensive on the tour has been halted by an arm injury. Her win over Shuai was only the second competitive match she has played since Wimbledon. "I feel I'm trying to be realistic, not trying to set tough goals, even though I always expect myself to go out there and perform well," she concluded. In second round, Muguruza will play Czech qualifier Karolina Muchova. It was far from plain sailing for the Brit in his first Grand Slam match for 13 months. Former world number 1 Andy Murray has progressed to the second round of the US Open after battling past James Duckworth 6-7, 5, 6-3, 7-5, 6-3, in what was a battle of the comeback kids in New York. Murray, who triumphed in Flushing Meadows back in 2012, is playing in only his 6th tournament since returning from a hip injury. Furthermore, he was contesting his first best-of-5 set match this season. Meanwhile, former top 100 player Duckworth has also suffered his fair share of injury woes, undergoing 5 surgeries on his right foot, right shoulder and right elbow since 2017. Both players have endured misfortune, but it was Murray who managed to prevail in their clash. hitting 31 winners to 29 unforced errors and converting 6 out of his 15 breakpoint opportunities. At times it was tricky, especially early on in the match. "It was very, very lively and very hot," Murray said during his on-court interview. "The ball was flying around and James was serving big and playing a lot of drop shots, throwing me off rhythm. I am happy I managed to get through that and play some good tennis at times." Judging on their career records, Murray went into the match as the favorite to win, although that illusion was swiftly dismissed by 26-year-old Duckworth, whose risky game plan raked in its benefits, leaving Murray frustrated as he failed to convert 2 set points whilst leading 6-5. The mood of the Brit deteriorated further in the tiebreaker when more gutsy play from the Australian saw him turn his fortunes around. A forehand cross-court winner gave him his first set point. Unlike Murray, he was able to convert after a slice from his rival drifted long. Facing the prospect of falling at the first hurdle in New York for the first time in his career, Murray increased his aggression and the intensity as his shot-making, breaking twice during the second set to revive his chances of winning. Despite the turn in the tides, the Brit still struggled to tame his rival. Duckworth's resilience was one that frustrated Murray and won him fans. With both players matching each other game by game, it was a minor blunder from the Australian that cost him dearly. Serving to stay in the third set at 5-6, a double fault handed Murray set point, an opportunity he seized after a Duckworth slice drifted out, prompting him to slam his racket on the floor out of anger. Closing in on his first win in a major since the 2017 Wimbledon Championships, Murray continued to endure a roller-coaster journey, scrolling to a 3-1 lead in the fourth frame with the help of Duckworth forehand slamming into the net on break point, only for him to be broken in the following game. Continuing to weather the storm, the Brit eventually sealed his place in the second round when a shot from his rival crashed into the net on match point. "I made a bit of a change on the return games. I started to stand a bit further back to give me a little bit more time. I got myself into a few more rallies that way, and once I got into the rallies I was a little bit more comfortable." Murray explained about how he managed to turn the match around. Awaiting Murray in the next round will be Spanish 31st seed Fernando Verdasco. In his opening match, he dismissed compatriot Feliciano Lopez 6-2, 7-5, 6-4. Murray has a 13-1 head-to-head lead against Verdasco on the tour.